Hi. I can't figure out where to put this so that you can actually see me. Is this better-ish? I feel like it's slightly better-ish, but only slightly. So it has been a really long time since we've chatted. I have no excuse. I have excuses, but there's no excuse. Some of you may recall that the last time we saw each other via video, it was Austin in August, so that's how long it's been. We had like really bad windstorms for like a week, probably longer than that actually, and they knocked out the power for days. Like the better part of a week we had no power. And when the power came back on, it turned out that what they also knocked out was both of the computers in the house. Even though both of the computers were hooked up to surge protectors, they were just goners. So I was gonna buy a new laptop, and I absolutely hate electronic shopping, like the bane of my existence. And I have an iPad now, which is what I'm using right now. And I had decided that I was just gonna try to have that only for a while, which wasn't doable because, as you may recall, just after that power outage, I was supposed to be starting an online business, which I kind of need a computer for. So I was able to get our house desktop up and running, and between that and the iPad, that was kind of working out for me. But I wasn't blogging or vlogging because I just can't stand to be sitting at the desktop. Like, I don't know what it is about it. It's just not comfortable to me. I don't like the keyboard. I'm sure I could buy a new one, but you know what? Whatever. There are reasons I didn't like it, so I just wasn't doing it. And then I was also so busy, of course, with starting a business that I just, there was no chance, you know? After a while, it just kind of felt like I was so out of the habit of recording videos or writing blog posts that it just started to feel natural to not even think about that. So anyway, it's been a little bit of a hiatus, unintentionally, but I've been meaning to come back, and I've been thinking about it so much, and like I didn't get to do, you know, a wrap-up of the things that I read in 2021 or talk about my goals for 2022, and that's like, I always do those things, so it just really felt like it was missing. But also, like, if I come back, I just need a change, because I don't have the time that I used to have to devote to these things, and I don't want to just always be doing the same things. So long story short, this is just like a welcome back chat and a little bit of a mini vlog, like a day or two in my life probably, to kind of catch you up on things, where things are, how things are going, what's going on in the shop right now. I'm just eating lunch. I was watching a YouTube video, I was watching a vlog, and I was like, you know what, I should be doing that. So, you know, we'll see how long this lasts. I've never used iMovie, which is what is on the iPad, and since I'm recording this on my iPad, we're gonna try it, and maybe no one will ever see this because I might decide I hate it. I'm not an Apple fan. I do like the fruits. Not a fan of the company, but I do like this iPad just because of Procreate and Procreate alone. Plan for today is I need to take some product photos, and I need to do some test prints, and I need to like sit down with my bullet journal. I have obviously a new journal for this year, and I finally bought a watercolor one. I don't know that it's ideal for watercolor, actually, real layers of watercolor, but for gouache, I like it. And I'm doing a woodland animal theme. So I need to sit down today and make some lists of things that need doing in the shop, and if I'm coming back to YouTube at my blog, things that need doing on that end. Also, it's February, which means it's technically NaNoWriMo, International Correspondence Writing Month, and the last few years I've tried to like participate in that, and since I have a stationery shop, I really feel like I should participate in that, but I haven't done a thing this year, and I want to. So I think I'm gonna try to also get some letters and some cards put together so that I can start sending them out and catch up a little bit. So that's the plan for today. I should also probably clean off my desk because it looks worse than this. This, there's no hope for. But this is all arts and crafts. If you didn't know, you've seen it behind me before in a couple of vlogs, but yeah, it's jam-packed. Like this is all different art papers, and a lot of it is watercolor paper. Earlier this year when I went through a little bit of a spring cleaning binge that I'm still in, which is why there are stacks of things everywhere, I counted my canvases and found out that I have 55 empty canvases that need painting. So they're over here in this side of the craft mess. And I would really love to take on a project of like working through all of them in a year. It'd be like one a week, but I don't have time for that right now. So that's not happening in 2022. I'll probably do some of them, hopefully. But at some point when I do have more free time, I do want to take that on as a challenge. So anyway, this is just to say hello again. Long time no see, but glad to be seeing you. I don't know, let's spend some time with each other. Alright, I fully intended to have music in this video, normal vlog style, but I just wasn't liking anything I was finding. I was feeling very, very lackluster about it all. So instead, we're just gonna chat. As you're seeing on screen right now, I'm just adding things to my bullet journal for the week. As I mentioned, it's a woodland theme this year, and I've done a deer, a fox, and bunnies so far, trying to get more comfortable with painting and drawing animals, but I also am trying to move seasonally through my bullet journal for the year, so it's all going to be woodland and woodland creatures year long, all of 2022, but I also want to match up each month with what it would actually be like. So January was snowy, February was also snowy, March is probably going to be a little muddy, but that's my plan. Let me know if you have some ideas for me. Hello. So you're joining me again the next day from the last time that I saw you. Very, very briefly saw you. I'm going over some test prints to determine, like, you know, if I like the way the colors are printing and I like the quality and whatnot. So I'm the queen of the awkward angle in this video. We'll rectify that shortly because my new iPad holder is on the way. I had ordered one and I apparently didn't pay attention to the dimensions, and it was for the older, smaller style, and mine's like half an inch too big for it. So new one should be here shortly, and then we will catch up and talk at like a decent, you know, face-to-face. But right now I'm just gonna cut the test prints and kind of look them over, see if there's anything I want to tweak, and if there's not, I'm gonna go ahead and photograph them. If there is, I'm gonna tweak it and reprint it and do the whole thing over. But yeah, I need to get some photos so that I can get the listings ready, and then I can continue to kind of like play with it a little bit and make it better. But I need something to get started basically. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I will catch up with you shortly, and we'll chat for a bit. Actually, we're gonna chat right now because I still can't find any music that I like. I'm not gonna narrate what's happening on screen because I think it's gonna be all pretty self-explanatory. I'm just printing out my test prints, cutting them, and scoring them. If you ever want me to go more in-depth on what any of that means, let me know, and I'll do a more in-depth video or tutorial or something. But instead of talking more about that, about work, I thought we could talk about your plans for spring, because I am like fully in gardening mode. I want to get my hands in dirt. But of course, I live in Michigan, so that's not really feasible for me right now. But I've been ordering seeds like a fiend. I need to stop because I could not possibly plant them all if I tried. But I'm so excited and eager for it. So even though I can't do it right now, we can talk about it. So I don't know if you guys are gardeners. I know a lot of people took it up in 2020 because, like, what else did they have to do? So if you are a gardener now, or if you started gardening, let me know what you're growing this year, what you're most excited to grow. I have a bunch of new things that I'm trying this year, mostly in the kind of realm of flowers. I pretty much know what I like to grow veggie-wise, but I'm trying to add more flowers to the mix to attract pollinators, and also because I love making floral bouquets. So this year I bought some honeywort, which I'm so excited about because I think it looks so cool. And it is also, I guess, like a super pollinator attractor, which is great because I feel like, where have they all gone? Like, I have a lot of flowers in my yard and we hardly ever see any butterflies or bees. That's disappointing. But I'm really excited about the honeywort. I have some apricot lemonade cosmos that I'm also very excited about. I was trying to go for a lot of sort of apricot peachy toned things this year, and I was striking out because I think a lot of other people were also going for those, and they were all selling out, so I got what I could. But I'm probably most excited about those because I really just love cosmos. I got something called Kiss Me Over the Garden Gate, and I'm not gonna lie, I bought that mostly because of the name. And it turns out that it can get up to 8 feet tall. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, I'm excited. So let me know what you are doing if you're a gardener this year. We're going. Okay, don't knock it over, thank you. All right, so let's chat a bit. Let's catch up. So the iPad mount got here, and I think it's gonna go back because it sucks. It's awful. I hate it. But for now, we're giving it a little bit of a test drive while we catch up. I've put in minimal effort by donning some slightly tinted lip balm and tossing a cute blanket over the mass of things that's on my bed right now. I had to call it quits on the product photos earlier because the lighting was just awful. So I'm gonna pick that back up tomorrow, but in the meantime, I dove right back into like my spring cleaning, reorganize everything, move everything around thing that I've got going on right now. And so there's just stuff all over here, there's stuff all over here, there's stuff behind the camera. It's just, I have too much stuff. I keep wanting to casually lean on this, but if I do, it will collapse. So just gonna situate myself here, lean on my knee. So I'll probably have a bookish update soon to talk about faves of the year last year and kind of where my state of the reading is at right now, but I don't know when that will be. Maybe a week or two, maybe longer, I don't know. I'm reading a lot, but I'm not feeling like I want to talk about it. I'm just not in that headspace of like analyzing and remembering and kind of having my shit together as regards books and reading. So sorry if you hear growling throughout this entire portion. I just had to break up a cat fight and Kimba is just not happy right now. Anyway, I just don't have the bandwidth, I guess, right now to like pay attention enough to the books that I'm reading to talk about them. But I did sit down the other day to see count up how many books that I read according to Hoopla and Kindle and Overdrive and my bullet journal that I never logged last year on Goodreads, because according to Goodreads I didn't finish my challenge for the year, which I knew that I did. And I have like 25 books that I never logged last year, and I haven't logged anything for this year yet. So that's just kind of where I am right now. We'll talk more about bookish things in a future video, but mostly where all of my focus has gone lately, other than watching my nephew, is my shop. That's consumed my life, but like happily so. I made so many plans. I don't know what I did with the notebook right now, but I made so many plans last summer of like what products I was going to launch, what themes they were going to be, what art pieces I needed to make for it, up through like next summer. And I have not at all stuck to that. I've been like just doing what I want to do and kind of going where my whims take me, and I've been really enjoying that. The shop had a really great launch, like better than I thought it was going to be. especially given the fact that, you know, I'd had the two computers die, one, and then like a few weeks later the other one kind of gave up until I could fix it. And so I had like these huge gaps in the shop being open. I had to put it on vacation mode. I had this lovely little office area set up that I was going to show you guys, but it is no more. My sister had a bit of a health scare and she decided to come back home. It means I no longer have an office. I had to shove everything in here, which is why it's this cramped, chaotic mess. Hopefully, eventually, I'll be able to get it to be workable for me, but right now it's just everything is like a process to get to the next thing. But beyond that, that's like the one drawback of the shop right now, and the fact that it slowed down after the holidays, but that's a given. Beyond that, I'm just loving every moment of it. I made these grab bags. Ugh. So if you don't know, before I launch into this, I guess I should explain. I have a stationery shop where I design and illustrate different kind of cottagecore, Jane Austen, feminine, letter writing stationery, greeting cards, bookmarks, memo pads, sticker sets, sticker sheets, things like that, and just whatever kind of interests me in whatever style kind of interests me. Probably not the best for branding, but as I talked about in the video where I announced it, I don't care. I don't care if it's super profitable. I don't care if it becomes super well known or about branding. I mean, to an extent, I do care about branding somewhat, just because I care about the fun side of it. But the practical side that I should pay attention to, I don't want to be consumed by like gig economy, side hustle culture, and I don't want to start disliking art. So I'm like playing this sort of balancing act of doing the things that I like and that interest me and that will work for a business without being consumed by the business side of things. That's my plan. But part of that is I want to be as eco-friendly as I can. That's something that I really care about. I try to have as little waste as I possibly can, but obviously with a stationery and with an art-based business, you have to do a lot of like test prints and prototyping to get the colors to come out right, to figure out your settings for the printer and for your digital files to make sure that things are printing with the correct margins and correct colors and the line weight and, you know, all that stuff. And so there are a lot of things that I end up making that are not wrong. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not the final design that ends up in the shop, or there might be something slightly wrong with them. You know, printers mess up, so you get like an ink splotch or some blurriness or something like that. But it's not like it's ruined. It's just like I don't want to sell it like that, you know, as new. So what I've been doing since the shop opened is setting all of the like B-grade stuff and the prototypes and test prints aside in a box. And the other day I sat down and I compiled all of it and I made this big old box. It doesn't look huge. It's not a big old box, but like it's a decent sized box of grab bags. Oh, I'm so excited about them. So I know they look a little petite, but again, we're talking about stationery and like greeting cards and stuff, sticker sets, so they're not going to be huge, but I got a whole bunch of them, and they're full of stationery and prints, art prints, bookmarks, stickers, all kinds of stuff. Most of them have nothing wrong with them. They're just not the final design, or they are the final design, but I handled it a lot to take product photos, and I don't want to give someone something that I've been like messing with a lot, just in case, you know, I've smudged it or creased it and didn't notice. So most of them are like perfectly good, but I bundled them all up, complete mystery. I made a little sticker for them that's so cute, and I'm selling them in my shop as grab bags, so people can get like that little mystery, like, ooh, what's in it feeling, but also get to try things at a really steep discount, and then it allows me to not be recycling a bunch of stuff that really doesn't need to go to waste. So that's something that I just put in the shop the other day that I'm super excited about. I'll leave a link below if you guys want to check out the shop. Most of what I post is, the illustrations are physical art, so earlier when I was working on product photos, you would have seen me sorting through my art to try to find paintings that some of the pieces came from so that I could show it in the product photo. So most of the time it's watercolor or it's gouache. I did a whole little series while I'm thinking of it. Back in October, I did a whole little series of these tiny little 2.5 by 2.5 or 3 by 3. I think they're 2.5 by 2.5 gouache paintings. Let me show you some of my favorites. I think that was everyone's favorite. That one though, oh, I love that one. And this one, this was probably the second favorite for everyone. This one is based on a picture that my mom took. But anyway, so things like this, you know, little paintings. These got turned into a sticker pack that I love. It's one of the most popular things in the shop. But most of the things that I do are based on watercolor or gouache paintings. But the other day I just got like bitten by this pen and ink bug and ended up doing a series of digital drawings of flowers. And so there's like this black and white minimalist thing going on in the shop right now. Again, as I said, I'm not like sticking to one recognizable solidly me thing, other than the fact that it tends to be mostly floral, and I don't know, the theme is things that make me happy. I think that will connect with other people who have similar tastes, and if, you know, if it doesn't, then so be it, I guess. But that's kind of what's going on in the shop, just the things that, like, did I tell you guys I think I might have ADHD? I'm feeling it right now. I'm really feeling it. I've thought it for a while. I'm really thinking I might, but I think that that's kind of what's working for me in the shop, because I can get like excited about and hyperfixate on something new pretty much all the time, because there's always going to be a new design, there's always going to be a new color palette, there's always going to be a new style, a new product. So I'm kind of like harnessing that energy. Ugh. This is chaos. This is chaos. Oh, I know there was some, I knew it. I knew there was something I was gonna say. Okay, so anyway, I started a post. I can't get my desk drawer open because I'm too close to it. Oh no. Oh, hey. This video is ADHD. Okay, don't let me forget that I was gonna show you something in my desk drawer. But these are these that I just knocked over are some of the little line art drawings that I was just talking about. Love anemones, love cosmos. Oh, that was the little one. There we go. There's a whole bunch more. There's sunflowers and snowdrops. Snowdrops is a popular one. Anyway, in my desk drawer. These are all the cards that I printed out earlier today that will be listed in the shop soon, but I was going to post a picture on Instagram asking people's opinions on like variations and which one to go with. And I didn't end up posting it because, again, the lighting was horrible and it was just turning out really grainy. So I'm going to ask you guys, I have 3 questions for you. I don't know how well it will show up on camera, but I have this little thank you card. I'm probably going to scallop the edges like this. Possibly all 4 edges, I don't know. But so I was trying to decide, originally when I showed it on Instagram, it had this pink like color swipe behind it. And the more I looked at it, the less I liked the pink. So then I made peach. And on the iPad, I loved the peach. And I do like it. I like it. But is it too peach? Is there too much peach tone? Like, did this give it some brightness that it didn't have? So, question number 1, which do you prefer? Pink or peach? Okay, question number 2. These are such minuscule things, so you're gonna see what it's like in my brain all the time. So I have this little cluster, rose cluster surface pattern that I designed, and I'm trying to decide. It's just gonna be like a blank card, you know, cutesy little like desk set type of thing. And I'm trying to decide whether to do the smaller version of the pattern or the larger version of the pattern. answer me with your gut, your initial gut feeling first before I tell you my thinking on which one I think I'm going to go with. But you guys might disagree, and I need to know that thing. I need to know that. I need to know what other people think and would gravitate towards. So, which one? Smaller, larger? Did you answer? Okay, so here's my thinking. I think I'm gonna go with smaller. Now, normally I don't like smaller prints. They start to feel really busy to me, but, and it might just be that I rotated this one. You can see that instead of like these larger flowers lining up this way across the card, they kind of like go at an angle, and that breaks up the pattern a little bit. So maybe I just need to rotate it. But in the larger one, it's like 4 square, and that kind of is, that's just like glaring to me. So maybe if I rotated it, but I don't think that would look right either. So I think I'm gonna go with smaller, but I want to know your thoughts. Last question. I have this painting of like a rose cluster, a lot of roses in the shop, in an envelope, and I cropped out the envelope portion of the painting for this card and wanted it to kind of be like a off-center like focal point. So originally I was thinking I was going to have it down in the, I don't know if the camera is reversed for you guys, but down in the left-hand side. I can't believe I just had to do that on camera. Down in the left-hand side, and then kind of like fading off into nothingness, you know? So that was, and it would face this way, so it's top folding. But then I was playing around with it. I was like, or maybe a side folding card. And really, either one could be used either way. Is that the right way? Yes. So they could be like this, or they could be like that. You would have that option. Like that's not the question of which way, like that's something you can decide for yourself. But as far as like selling it, do you like the top folding with it down in the bottom corner, or the side folding with it down in the bottom corner? Because then when you rotate them, they are going to be in a different position. So, what do you think? This is the hardest one, I think, and also the stupidest. This is what it's like running a business with me. Want to see the other things that I printed up today? There is a sticker that matches this card. All I printed was cards today. This I designed back in November, December, printed 2 different versions of, because I was trying to decide on which font weight I wanted, or hand lettering weight, because it's not a font. And then I forgot about it entirely until I made the grab bags and found it, and I was like, oh, I was supposed to make a decision and then print those and sell them, and I never did. So I finally did. I made a decision, and I also tweaked the design and like it way better. So these are going up soon. Really excited about those because they're so like bright and springy, and it just gives me happy feels. And then this is also another, I had like a floral painting binge. You can find it on my shop Instagram. I obsessively was painting bouquets for a few days. That's not out of my system. There are more to come, but I was just trying to get like a certain thing. And there's one that I liked, but like it had some issues. And so last night I was looking at it and decided to pull pieces from other bouquets that I had painted, like kind of crop them out and insert them into this one. That seemed aggressive. And that ended up being this bright bouquet. And I think that's all I painted. No, it's not. There's also this little one. I've been calling it the Delphinium bouquet. It didn't really have a particular flower as an inspiration. I just wanted purples. But long spikes like that, I tend to think of delphiniums. In my head, at least, that's what it is. And I think that's everything that I printed today. This was a way longer chat than I intended, so I had better start wrapping it up. I think that's probably pretty much it for this vlog. As I mentioned, we'll leave a link to the shop below. You can see how these things turn out and make it up into the shop if they do. And also you can find those grab bags. Some of them have items that aren't in the shop yet and that I haven't shown anyone. So some like sneak peeks or things that I'm on the fence about putting in the shop. So yeah, you just don't know what you're gonna get. But let me know if you guys like hearing about the shop or if you hate it. If you hate it, I'm sorry, because that's probably gonna it's probably going to feature a lot, and art is going to feature a lot on the channel going forward, because again, I just feel like I'm in a different place with books right now where I want to read them, but I don't want to talk about them. Thumbs up for art and studio vlogs. I have a painting challenge that I'm doing all this year with my mom. In theory, we also had it going last year, but we petered out halfway through the year. This month we are doing oil pastels, which are kind of, I haven't done anything with them since I was like a kid, and I used to hate them, and I'm determined to make something that I don't hate with them. So I might do like a little mini vlog on experimenting with those. If you would like to see it, let me know in the comments. And let me know what kind of bookish things that you would like that aren't necessarily reviews, because I just don't feel like I'm in a review space right now. So that's about it. That's about it. Life vlogs, art stuff, shop chat, occasional non-reviewish bookish things. I don't know. I did have some ideas. I've been writing them down, but once they're on paper, I forget entirely, even that I wrote them down. So, you know. Again, I think I might have ADHD. For real though. But anyway, that's all for now. I will hopefully see you guys soon. I'm gonna try, I think, to have a video up every 1 to 2 weeks, kind of to get myself back into it, because it's been so long since I've been making videos that I just don't think about it anymore. And then hopefully after that, every week minimum. But I don't know. Fingers crossed, and hold me to it. Like, ask me, encourage me, get on Twitter and be like, Misty, let's go. I keep being distracted by this. I had to pull down the trim around my closet on this side so that I could hang a shelf up that was just slightly too big, and now I need to cut the trim and put it back up. That hasn't happened yet. Anyway, thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you again soon. One further note about the ADHD thing: the entire time that I was recording this like speaking part with you guys, the Monsieur Perrone song, what is it, that went viral on TikTok a while ago? Is it called Con Flores? I don't know, but it's been in my head the whole time that I was recording this, just singing in the background. So maybe I can just send in this video for a diagnosis.